Hey guys, welcome to my Elite Dungeon 3 Trash Mob Farming Guide. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make up to 1.5 million XP per hour, as well as up to 6 million GP per hour, simply by killing the mobs in Elite Dungeon 3. The requirements and recommendations for this method are as follows. So required at least 75 plus combat stats and 70 plus defense, as well as 43 prayer. This is basically to make this method worth it for you. You should have at least these stats. Recommended is completion of Curse of the Black Stone. This way you will actually have a 10% damage reduction, which will come in handy. And also if you have a party of 2 or 3 people who want to do this with you, this will make it much better and you can actually achieve up to that 6 mil GP per hour. You can do this method solo, however, but of course you will need really high stats, at least 90 plus combat stats to make it efficient. And also the GP per hour will be a little bit lower. You can probably obtain around 3 to 4 mil per hour as a solo player, and the XP might be a bit lower as well, but still upwards of 1 mil per hour. So to start this method, you can gear up using any combat style you would like. I found that the most efficient was using magic. However, in this video, I'm going to be using melee since that is my preferred combat style. The GP per hour isn't too much different, so you can pick whichever one you are more comfortable with. It is more preferable to not use equipment that degrades heavily, so you don't need to use your Malevolent or your Serenic armor. You can instead go with Torva or Pernix or whatever gear you would like. So to start this method, go to the entrance of the Elite Dungeon, which is located in Daemonheim. You can get here by using your Ring of Kingship and teleporting to Daemonheim. Before you go in, make sure your chest is auto-collecting loot. This is really important for this method, so just make sure that is all set up. Then you can click on the ship to sail. Make sure that you start a new encounter each and every time, and make sure you select normal mode. Do not do story mode because you won't get the same amount of GP and XP per hour. So once you make it into the Elite Dungeon, essentially what this method is, you're going to be killing the mobs only until you get to the first boss. So once you get to the first boss, you're just going to exit out and you will be done there and you'll restart and go again. So in this, you don't need to complete any Elite Dungeon bosses. It simply is just the mobs within the boss, which is why it's called the Trash Mob Farming. As you can see, it is really important for you to use your AoE abilities. So for me, with me using melee, Hurricane and Smash will be the best abilities that I can use, along with the Meteor Strike ultimate ability. This way I will kill them as fast as possible. Also, you probably have noticed that they are hitting really hard. I advise protecting from melee when you do come in here, since they do hit really hard, especially when using melee. A Pack Yak or any Beast of Burden is also recommended, as you will probably need some extra food. This way you can actually redo the dungeon and you won't have to teleport out very often. But usually for me, I was able to complete this about 3 times before I would have to go bank and get more food. Also, as you can see in this clip, I am soloing this. So as I said earlier in the beginning of the video, if you have 2 or 3 people doing this with you, your GP per hour will increase a lot. And that is because you'll still get the drops for each and every mob that you do attack. That way, by having 2 or 3 people with you, it will greatly increase your GP per hour as well as your XP per hour because you'll be going through the dungeons much quicker. From soloing these, I would usually take around 5 to 6 minutes to complete one run. So you could probably decrease this to around 2 to 3 minutes with a team of 2 to 3 players. Also, I would like to mention that there is one spot where you can actually skip the mobs. So looking at the map right here, I'm actually in this spot right now, so you can skip the mobs over in the bottom left corner of this map. And I will show you what they do look like. They tend to take a long time to kill. They have about 30,000 health and they hit really hard. You could definitely kill them with a team of 2 to 3 players, but as a solo player, I found it wasn't really worth killing them. So this is what they look like on screen right now. They are in the top left corner. As you can see, there's 3 of them. Personally, I just avoid them, especially when I am doing this solo. Anyway, after one quick 5-minute run, this is the loot that I was actually able to obtain. So as you can see, it's not quite 300k, although I didn't get the rare Reef Relic, which you should expect around 1 of these per hour. and these are worth 1 mil. So this definitely does boost your GP per hour quite a bit, but overall just around 300k for the first hour that I did. I also finished a full hour just to see what the loot would look like, and it turns out I made around 3.2 mil for completing this 1 hour, and as I said earlier, you can get the rare reef relics. This hour I didn't happen to get one, and they are worth 1 mil each. Also, the reef relics cannot be sold on the Grand Exchange, they can only be alked or disassembled. So it is up to you, you can disassemble the common ones for some pretty useful parts, or you can alk them for around 5,000 coins each. Also, the uncommon reef relics, which as you can see I've received 12 of these, they do high alk for 25k each, so they are definitely worth alking. And all of these items you can put in your MK Alchemizer, which is in the Invention Guild. This is a great way to alk these, especially if you have done this method for a long time and you have obtained a lot of these reef relics. Also, this method can get you around 1 to 1.5 mil XP per hour, depending on the amount of players you have in your team. So overall, this method is really, really great, especially if you are someone who is trying to gain XP. Even if you're a lower level player, you can go in with some high level players and they may even be able to carry you through this dungeon, gaining you an insane amount of XP for your level. You should also gain around 100,000 Dungeoneering XP per hour when doing this method as well, which is a nice added bonus. Anyway guys, I really hope you found this guide helpful, and hopefully you guys actually check this method out for yourselves. It is really, really insane, especially considering that you can make up to 6 mil GP per hour while you are gaining 1.5 mil XP per hour. Also, if you guys have any questions about this method or anything at all, leave it in the comments down below. And check out my Discord server if you're interested in meeting some other RuneScape 3 players or just chatting. The link to that will be in the description down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.